The atmosphere will be like no other. What is it like in the paddock at this moment, Ross?
Well, that's the sound of Max Mosley's motorhome. He's not in right now, but when he does get here, the paddock is going to be absolute anarchy. He's been right at the centre of this round.
Well, there's no doubt about the story of the day for BBC Oxford nationally and internationally. This morning, the Formula One Teams Association has announced it's setting up a rival championship from next season. Formula One is crumbling on the eve, very nearly, of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone on our patch. 8 teams have committed to breaking away, including the championship leaders from Brackley, that's Brawn GP. And that's our first port of call. Reaction from Silverstone now. Here's Nick Fry, the Brawn GP Chief Executive Officer.
Oh, it's unfortunate in lots of ways, but looking forward to the future. I'm sure it'll work out one way or another.
And the FIA have released a statement saying that the negotiations weren't done in good faith and that this was always the planned outcome. Is that something that you disagree with?
I think we had lots and lots of discussion and tried our best to reach a good outcome, and we are where we are.
You're doing fantastic well in the championship this year, but with this change of structure for motorsport, are the jobs safe at Brackley?
Yeah, I think we're doing the best we think is possible for the company, and that's for all our employees, and I'm sure we're going to be racing Formula One next year.
Ross Heaton firing the questions at Nick Fry as he arrived at Silverstone this morning. He's the Brawn GP Chief Executive Officer. Fernando Alonso is one of the drivers that will feature heavily in the British Grand Prix at Silverstone this weekend. He arrived just a few moments ago at the racetrack, and Ross Heaton caught up with him too.
They didn't find a solution, so, it's the way it is. Sad news, but the life will keep, going, and the new series will be very attractive. So we will have the best teams, the best drivers, so everything will stay the same. Maybe not the name of Formula One, but another name. Formula One is finished, with will be Cosworth engine, a standard engine for everybody, small teams and no drivers. So this is not the Formula One that people want. So new series will be the new Formula One.
How about that? Fernando Alonso, Formula One is finished. It'll be attractive, the new series. You'll get the best teams and you'll get the best drivers. It's all over as far as he's concerned. That's it. Formula One is dead. Long live whatever they're going to call it. Patrick Head is Director of Engineering with Williams. Ross Heaton caught up with him too. He's arrived at Silverstone just a few moments ago.
I think at the moment we're just here to get on with the Grand Prix. All those matters will be debated over the next few days, but at the moment I'm just thinking about the Grand Prix here.
And Williams is such an established name in Formula One. They are one of the names. A leading championship without Williams it wouldn't be the same.
Well, obviously the history of split championships as per the single-seater championship in the US is pretty poor, so I hope eventually that we end up all competing in the same championship, but quite clearly there's some strong disagreements, and the current FOTA teams clearly are very unhappy with the current situation. So anyway, I hope it'll all get sorted out, but I'm here to focus on what's going to go on the track.
And just finally, you're outside the FOTA membership at the moment, but you still have a huge voice within the sport. Are you going to try and use that with the FOTA team members?
At the moment, we're not participating in the FOTA discussions, but we still have a lot of common interest with them. And obviously, if there's anything we can do to try and get a situation where this current position is resolved, we will do so.
Now, Bernie Ecclestone has, within the last 15 minutes, arrived at Silverstone, and Ross Heaton was one of the first reporters to catch him. In fact, let me tell you, he was the only reporter to catch him. So this is an exclusive to us on BBC Oxford. Here's Bernie Ecclestone being chased by Ross Heaton.
Bernie Ecclestone, is this the end for Formula One?
Sorry, no, I don't think so. Why?
This breakaway championship, how concerned are you?
I'm not.
Would you like to run it?
Formula One World Championship has been going for 60 years and will continue to go. We've had I think, 73 teams in and out of the World Championship, so I don't suppose it'll change.
And just finally, is there any way back from this, you think?
I don't know where we are, so I don't come back from where I don't know.
Stay there, Chris, because Charles is from the GMB from Brighton in a minute. But first off, we're going to hear Fernando Alonso, who drives for Renault. He's been reacting to the news of the Formula One breakaway in the past few minutes.
Formula One is finished, with will be Cosworth engine, a standard engine for everybody, small teams and no drivers. So this is not the Formula One that people want. So new series will be the new Formula One.
Well, the boss of Formula One, Bernie Ecclestone's been giving his reaction to BBC Radio Oxfordshire's Ross Heaton.
Bernie Ecclestone, is this the end for Formula One?
Sorry, no, I don't think so. Why?
This breakaway championship, how concerned are you?
I'm not.
Would you like to run it?
Formula One World Championship has been going for 60 years and will continue to go. We've had, I think, 73 teams in and out of the World Championship, so I don't suppose it'll change.
And just finally, is there any way back from this, you think?
I don't know where we are, so I don't come back from where I don't know.
Oh, Bernie. Fighting talk.
Formula One has been thrown into chaos because of a decision by most of the teams to set up a rival championship in 2010. 8 teams, including Ferrari and McLaren, have failed to reach an agreement with the sport's governing body, the FIA, on a proposed budget cap for next season. The commercial rights holder of Formula One, Bernie Ecclestone, was asked by a BBC News reporter if this signalled the end of F1.
Sorry, no, I don't think so. Why?
This breakaway championship, how concerned are you?
I'm not.
Would you like to run it?
Formula One World Championship has been going for 60 years and will continue to go. We've had, I think, 73 teams in and out of the World Championship, so I don't suppose it'll change.
And just finally, is there any way back from this, you think?
I don't know where we are, so I don't come back from where I don't know.
The FIA and Bernie Ecclestone, who runs Formula One. Mr Ecclestone was spotted by BBC Radio Oxford's reporter Russ Heaton at the track this morning, and he seemed indifferent to the threat.
Sorry, no, I don't think so. Why?
This breakaway championship, how concerned are you?
I'm not.
Would you like to run it?
Formula One World Championship has been going for 60 years and will continue to go. We've had, I think, 73 teams in and out of the World Championship, so I don't suppose it'll change.
And just finally, is there any way back from this, you think?
I don't know where we are, so I don't come back from where I don't know.
Bernie Ecclestone talking to Ross Heaton. Well, the immediate...
We're going to go live for sport from David Garrido in Silverstone, but first news from Tulip Mazumda. It's 12:45.
Digital FM online. This is Radio 1.
Formula One is finished, according to one of its top drivers. The row's been going on for some time now. FIA boss Max Mosley wrote to 5 of the teams recently to try and resolve it, but that didn't wash. They've made their announcement and the threat is very real. If you don't believe them, here's Renault driver and 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso.
Sad news, but we will have the best teams, the best drivers, so everything stays the same. Maybe not the name of Formula One, but another name.
So is this really the end of Formula One as we know it? Max Mosley has said he'll release a statement as and when. He was seen meeting with Bernie Ecclestone this morning. So will he have anything to do with the new series if it happens?
Formula One World Championship has been going for 60 years and will continue to go.
The first practice sessions are held this morning at the British MotoGP. Live at Silverstone, here's BBC Radio Oxford's Ross Heaton.
Yes, a mouth-watering weekend of two-wheel action is set to get underway today, with British bike fans treated to their annual glimpse of the very best riders on the planet. The passionate home support have plenty to cheer, not least the Tech 3 duo of Cal Crutchlow and Oxfordshire rider Bradley Smith. The 22-year-old crashed out of his last race in the Czech Republic, but that has not overshadowed a terrific debut season where he has claimed 7 top 10 finishes and has proven that he deserves to be taken seriously as a premier-class rider. Smith and the rest of the stellar MotoGP field are out for first practice at 9:55 this morning. The sun is out, the rolling English countryside looks glorious as the backdrop to this circuit, and the fans making their way into Silverstone are full of anticipation ahead of what could be a blockbuster weekend for bike fans.
The richest match in world football. We'll be following it closely this afternoon. Reporting live for us from Wembley Stadium, Ross Heaton.
Yes, top-flight football is tantalisingly close for both Queen's Park Rangers and Derby, and a sellout crowd of around 85,000 is set to pack this magnificent stadium for a game where the stakes could not be higher. Billed as the most lucrative game in world club football, victory for Queen's Park Rangers, who are still receiving parachute payments, would be a cool £80 million. While for the Rams, it's estimated a return to the top flight would earn them a staggering £120 million. Two of the most high-profile managers in the country have been plotting what they hope is the path back to the Premier League. Queen's Park Rangers boss Harry Redknapp is no stranger to Wembley, having guided Portsmouth to FA Cup glory in 2008, while Steve McLaren is back in the dugout here for the first time since his reign as England boss famously came to a miserable end under an umbrella in 2007. The two sides have one victory apiece from their two league meetings this season, and despite a wealth of top-flight experience in the squad from Loftus Road, the bookmakers make McLaren's men slight favourites. The use of Hawkeye goal line technology for the first time in a Football League playoff is another of the interesting subplots. The stage is set, the atmosphere is building. The question is now which of these teams will be able to handle the pressure when the success of a whole season hangs in the balance.
It's going to be an amazing afternoon with a place.
And Ross and Bill have been down at the Oval all afternoon. Let's get the latest now on how nothing's happening, obviously, because the cricket ended some time ago. But you're still there, chaps.
There has been a whole lot of nothing. There's been lots of bowl-offs, but not much cricket actually being played outside today. They have made their county proud by being the first Oxfordshire team to get this far, but Banbury Cricket Club have lost their ECB T20 Club semi-final against Wimbledon in an indoor bowl-off. It's a damp, soggy evening still here in the capital. Grey skies pouring with rain still here at the Oval. The rain at the Oval meant that the two teams were forced basically into what is the cricketing equivalent of football's penalty shootout after Wimbledon were unable to start a reply to Banbury's brief spell at the crease, where they finished on 27 for 5 after 6.2 overs. Wasn't a particularly great outing at the crease for Banbury. Bill Reynolds has been keeping a close eye on Banbury, not just today but for the whole season as well. Bill, you spoke with Jimmy Phillips and Nathan Hawkes here on BBC Radio Oxford just a short time ago, and you could see in their faces it's a really bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah, they were putting a brave face on it, and to their credit really, and there was quite a few laughs and there were no tears in the dressing room, and I felt quite proud of the way they reacted. They went straight over to the other side and shook their hand.
Here on BBC Radio Oxford, one is already underway in Witney, live at the Leisure Centre. Ross Heaton. Ross, how's it looking there?
Yeah, it's looking at a very good day for the Conservatives. This sports hall's been a hive of activity. David Cameron may have long since gone, but the votes have been counting since 10 o'clock this morning, and there's plenty of sharp suits, coloured rosettes and smiling faces if you are a Conservative inside the sports hall. 17 seats on the 49-strong council have been up for grabs. All bar one of the 15 seats that have been declared on the West Oxford District Council have gone to the Conservatives. There's been one gain from Labour, which was in Chipping Norton, which was a bit of a small red enclave for the Labour Party when Tory Guy Wall fended off competition from Labour's Sian O'Neill. The big story is that the Lib Dem parliamentary candidate for Witney, Andy Graham, has won by a sizable majority in Charlbury and Finstock. That's the only ray of sunshine for the Lib Dems, who finished last in over half of the counts so far. UKIP have also failed to make a significant impact. They've had low counts for most of their candidates, and they were standing in all bar two of the wards. One seat on the county council has been comfortably taken by Tory James Mills. Peter Kellen, the district councillor, re-elected Ensham and Cassington and Southley, is one of those wearing a bright blue rosette and a huge smile. Peter, many congratulations to you. What's your reaction?
Thank you very much. It's nice to know that you, at the end of the 4 weeks of campaigning, that you